Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of With Conviction, a story of hope, horror, and history. My name is Rain. My pronouns are she, her, and I am your GM for this adventure. With me are my embattled heroes for this campaign. Please all introduce yourselves.
Hi there, I'm Alice. I play Desdemona Hartwood. Both of us use she and they pronouns. Des is our Roseheart guardian. She's a gothy, punky, magical girl with a heart of pink, and doing her best to not, punch Hazel right in her angry face.
Hi, I'm Skylin. My pronouns are they and them, and I play Chris Whitlock, whose pronouns are she or any. Chris is our firebrand artillery, who has just decided that she might in fact have to punch Hazel in her angry face.
And I'm Rob. My pronouns are he, him, and I play Eliza Hardwood, whose pronouns are she, her. Eliza is our stalwart soul warrior who has spent this entire fight avoiding punching Hazel directly in her angry face.
Indeed. There's not much of a recap this time. You are fighting Hazel, the stained glass, the avatar of light.
Thank you. I was going to ask for a Dark Souls boss name.
If she's the stained glass, then what's Des doing?
Trying to control Hazel.
Ah,
It is the top of the round. You see Hazel standing just at the edge of the spring of light as the gold crawls up her legs and begins to soak into her armor and her skin and her clothes. And she regains a point of conviction. Who is going first?
Chris is staring at Hazel down in the parking lot. Goes, no, we're not losing you. Fuck it. Des, give Eliza a boost.
Okay.
Eliza runs towards Des and jumps.
Des drops out of the sky to where Eliza is, puts her hands together to get ready to launch her.
Eliza leaps over the railing of the balcony and lands one foot on Des's hands.
Chris backs up and forms a platform of earth beneath her feet so she can do the footwork necessary. Grab that damn evil sword into the portal with you! And she jumps.
As Des beats her wings and pushes up, and as Eliza pushes off of her hands, Des's shield also appears underneath Eliza's feet to give her an extra boost.
Eliza is launched into the air, and for just a moment, her jetpack is quiet. She hangs at the absolute peak of her arc.
And Chris pushes, smacks, serves Eliza in Hazel's direction.
Eliza's jetpack ignites, pink incarnadine fire streaming out of her. She surges straight towards Hazel, her sword appearing in her right hand. And Hazel sees her coming, sword outstretched.
Hazel braces and lifts her sword into a parry and is ready to receive.
The instant before their swords clash, Eliza's blade discorporates into snow and ash. And with her free hand, she pulls the evil sword from its loop. It crackles with black fire and lightning for just a moment, as with a crack like a sonic boom, Eliza impacts the gold liquid portal, plunging the blade straight into it.
Roll me a fight action with +4 darkness.
Ooh. I rolled an 8 on the dice, so that is 12.
Fuck yeah!
Ugh.
Eliza, as you draw the sword and that power seethes through you and tells you everything you could do with it, how you could win this fight, do you give in for just a moment?
There's a moment where she hovers on the edge. And in that moment, Eliza thinks of Chris. She thinks of Des. She thinks of Faith. She thinks of Hazel. She thinks of Tilly. She thinks of Caddy. She thinks of Melissa. She thinks of everyone that this power has helped her save and help and protect. And that keeps her from the edge.
This power offers itself to you, but you rally yourself and you push it away, and it has nowhere else to go except into the teeth of its hated enemy. The dark surges out like a thunder crack, and tendrils, sinews of darkness lash out from the sword and drive into the gold liquid. It crackles and screams, and the gold begins to subside. In the sky above you, there's a spot of darker gray that begins to blossom into a cloud, and it begins to rain.
Of course it fucking does. I love you, Rain. So much.
Hazel looks at the sword and looks at you. No. She doesn't have anything to say this time. She strikes out at you without a word.
Uh-oh.
Her first strike,
Uh-oh.
you turn and your sword appears in your hand and you parry it effortlessly as she rolls a 6.
You weren't my enemy here. It's okay. It's okay, Hazel.
And this round, with this attack, you had all used your turns together.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So she takes her second turn.
Yep.
She strikes again. And this time, with an 11, she is able to snake past your guard and strike home for another 3 stress.
So you're saying that she was able to snake out past my guard, right?
Wow. Wow. Oh,
Eliza, take
my
another point
God.
of stress.
Yes, good job, Rob.
I had to.
Yes, you did.
As she falls over. Worth it.
But she's not done. She strikes again and again and again. There is fury in her eyes now. You have stolen her hope, and she is going to make you pay. And with an 8, she strikes home again.
I have a quick question before we resolve this.
Yes.
Is Hazel going to keep attacking? Or does she have more
This
attack?
was her third attack.
Okay. Go ahead.
Eliza isn't able to block it, isn't able to dodge. She reaches up. She catches the blade in her bare hand. She looks at Hazel. Sparks of black fire just pouring off of her. It didn't have to be this way, but this is what you chose. Her jetpack ignites. That power that she rejected a moment ago, she is about to give into. Eliza uses Endure. Once per scene, when you take stress, repress the pain and convert the stress you would have taken into darkness instead, which will push her over the edge.
Seeing this, pushing her to her breaking point, Des reaches out and, in a reversal of something she'd done to Chris, we see, at first it looks like wispy tendrils of glass before you get the outline of Des hugging Eliza and pulling her back from the brink as she uses her one charge of cooldown to bring her back to 4 darkness.
Eliza lets out a breath, the fire more steady. She looks at Hazel. She lets go of Hazel's sword, and Eliza's own sword discorporates as she steps backward. I'm not your enemy here, and you aren't mine.
It is the end of the round. Some things happen, some things do not happen. In the apartment, the small wisp lights divide. 1, 2, becoming 4. In the sky, a light divides. What does not happen is that Hazel, standing in the rapidly drying and deadening pool that was a portal into the light, does not regain a point of conviction. The last thing that does happen is Hazel lifts her hand with what light she can muster, and there is a flash in front of Desdemona's eyes.
I figured.
Oh. Your turn.
And you will have to make that decision when it comes to you. So, top of the round. Who's going?
Quick chat, Winged Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So two options here. I can attack and take the hesitating, or sorry, no, I can protect and take the hesitating, or I can attack at the end of the round.
I feel like protect on hesitating might be the right call.
I'm into this.
Yeah, we're getting, as much as I want Reify online ASAP, we need to not die.
I think Chris needs to attack this round.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Well then, Rain, I'll take
And
your
break.
devil's bargain. Yeah, and break.
And break.
Heads in. Okay. So Des is gonna go first. I'm gonna take that -1.
Gotcha.
So this is functionally a flat roll to protect. I guess doesn't.
Who are you protecting?
I'm gonna protect Eliza. That is with the +1 and the -1. That is a 6 total.
Oh,
Yeah.
that mattered.
You try to lift your shield, but that light is leaving after images in your eyes, and you're having a hard time looking and seeing exactly what's going on around you. And so you think that you have something, you think that you're braced, but Probably not as much as you might like. Hazel's wings beat again. She floats in the air for just a second as she swings and dives down on the two of you. And she's going to attack both Des and Eliza in her zone.
Rude.
The attack against Des is a 7. So you take 3 stress.
Beautiful.
And the attack against Eliza is a 9. So
Oh.
Eliza...
Des,
you
yeah.
failed your protect roll.
Correct. So I take all of her damage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You throw yourself in the way as these scything, arcing, stabbing, slashing attacks lash out, and it digs into through your shield. It cuts through your garb and into, well, you don't have guild up right now.
Nope.
And so your skin is as mortal as anyone else. By the time it's done, Eliza is safe and you are bleeding quite badly.
Chris looks down in pain at what Hazel has done to her friends. She goes, "Stop, Hazel! What do you think we're fighting for here? I've been fighting for you! No matter what you think, you need to listen!" And Chris's hand extends. The earthen platform beneath her feet morphs into a bat, into a javelin that she throws. Center of mass for Hazel.
So why don't you walk me through the attack you're rolling?
Chris is watching Hazel's zone. She has seen what Hazel has done here, knows where Hazel is, knows how to hit center of mass, although she'd prefer to go for legs or something to pin Hazel down. But she has a choice to make, and that's not a choice she wants to make, but there's a promise that she made. And that promise was that she would choose Eliza and Des over Hazel. So she is rolling +2 to fight, and if this hits, she's dumping Reap into it.
Roll.
That is 6 on the dice, +2 is 8. I'm not using courage here. That wouldn't help. And because Chris has watched this zone, I'm triggering Radius, where she gets to deal damage. She gets to deal stress equal to her current darkness. And I said I was dumping Reap into this, where once per scene, I can double the damage dealt by Radius. Chris is dealing a total of 8 stress right now. And because Chris has fought Hazel, I would like to learn Hazel's stress and conviction, please, using Reify.
Tell me what this looks like as you strike home, as you deal 8 stress to her. What does this look like?
A stone javelin crackling with darkness streaks from the balcony toward Hazel, and I think there's a moment where Chris's hesitation is off ever so slightly, and instead of hitting center mass, this pins Hazel through the viscera instead. and this javelin rips through Hazel's torso, through the jacket, through the armor, ideally pinning her to the ground. And Chris staggers, grabbing the balcony railing. I want you on my team, Hazel. You're making me choose. Fucking stop it!
The javelin slams home. It drives through her stomach into the ground. We see just a few inches above the wound where a scar should be and isn't. Hazel struggles and cries out against the pain of this javelin that is pinning her to the ground. She strikes it once, twice, thrice until it shatters and she is able to yank herself off of the javelin. She raises a hand and one of the lights in the sky, just floating just over her shoulder, winks out of existence. And you see light curl and fractal and become a spot where the wound closes. And then that marble is erased and replaced by normal flesh. Hazel's stress right now is 19. Her conviction is 3.
Do we get to know what the stress is out of?
20.
Ah.
She glowers up at the balcony at Chris. You chose a while ago, Chris. You just didn't admit it. And this is the first time she actually succeeds on a sway roll.
Mm.
She rolls a 7. She is currently at 3 light.
And Chris was at 4 darkness.
So you're now at 3 darkness.
Mhm.
Is there anyone else yet to go in this round?
Hi. That's me. I haven't gone yet. I want to do a thing that is not provided for in the rules, but makes narrative sense.
I'm listening.
I want Eliza to... She wants to take Hazel's sword. And there's no disarm or anything in the rules, so I'm not sure how you would do this mechanically, but that's her goal, is to get the sword away from Hazel.
So far, when we have needed disarm, we have used it as a fight roll that does not deal stress.
All right, and I have a thing that I want this to be, how this works. So, as Hazel is holding on to her sword, she's probably distracted, and she's also got gloves included in her armor, right?
Yes.
So she doesn't feel it when the temperature on her sword starts dropping suddenly. She probably doesn't even notice the buildup of frost on her sword as it is dropping, getting colder and colder. As she finishes talking, though, she definitely notices as a white-hot, blazing sword wreathed in black fire hammers down directly on Hazel's sword. I'm going for thermal shock to shatter it.
Make a fight roll.
That is a 7 on the dice, which I'm going to spend the point of courage I picked up a while back to convert that to a 9. With finding patterns, that's an 11.
You bring your sword down. She turns just in time to block and parries. There is an almighty crack, and it shatters into about a half dozen pieces. Her sword falls to the ground and the light fades from it as she stares in shock. Because it is a complete success, and because narratively she now has no way to stop your strike, she will take a point of stress from that.
Yeah, after that, Eliza turns and she's going for a stab into one of these lights. Rolls a 9 base, so that's another 11. Only 1 stress because I haven't moved yet.
It still evaporates.
And then Eliza leaps and rockets over to the balcony next to Chris. Alright, well, that's my turn, and that's the round.
Hazel leaps up onto the balcony to pursue you.
Rude.
She is heedless at this point. She has forgotten her sword. She is striking with gauntleted fists. She is going to attack everyone in the zone. The attack against Chris strikes home with a 9. You take 1 point of stress. The attack against Eliza strikes with a 12.
Oh.
And you take 1 point of stress.
Yeah. I have bad news about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the punch just goes straight into Eliza's midriff. Even though it's now covered by her new dress, that still provides no actual protection. And she just doubles over underneath it, landing like bent halfway over the railing, looking out over it. And her dress discorporates. She's back in her casual clothes.
It is the end of the round, and a few things happen. The first thing that happens is that the lights in the apartment divide. The lights in the sky divide. The portal on the ground does not return to life. And in the sky above, the rain begins to grow heavier and the clouds begin to grow darker. The rain falls until it is almost a drum beat against all the roofs, and you are within almost seconds soaked to the bone. 1, 2, 3, 4. The lights in the sky wink out. And Hazel lifts her hand and points at Dez. There is once again a flash of light. And Dez, you will have to make that choice.
Okay.
It is the top of the round. Of those who remain, who is going first?
House Des can't protect if somebody's in another zone, right?
She would have to move to the other zone
Right.
and then protect. Then she could protect in a different zone.
What is your stress and conviction at again?
Mine?
Yeah.
I'm at 6 of 7
Jesus.
stress. And I have -1 on the darkness track.
Yeah, Chris is at 5 of 8.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Chris is going first. Let me run this by Alice first. Alice, I want to run protect.
You want to protect?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I can. And I think I can take the like we have 4 damage between us.
Right.
And I can run flare if this roll goes shit.
Okay.
Chris bends down and picks up Eliza. Looks at Hazel. You're right. I did choose a long time ago. Do you know who I chose, Hazel? I chose you. I don't make a sword for just anyone. Hell, I don't pick up new skills for just anyone. She shakes her head. I love you. She runs down the balcony and sets Eliza down, spreads her wings in front of Eliza and Des. I love you too much to let you hurt them. She's going to roll protect, which is, for me, a flat roll. That is a 5 and a 4 on the dice, which is a 9, and I am going to go ahead and pump Flare into that. Plus 3 is 12, so that is a full success.
You have a funny way of showing love. Maybe you should take some time to think about what it looks like from the outside. I'm not the one who keeps coming back to fight. I'm not the one who tried to kill Faith. I'm not the one that broke the light. That was all you. She's gonna try and sway Chris. And rolls a 5. How do you respond to that, Chris?
Hazel, I'm sorry. I believe in you. That's why we keep coming back. Because we want you. I want you.
Hazel's face twists, and she doesn't use her movement for herself, but 4 of the lights that were in the apartment move out to join her on the balcony, rotating gently over her shoulders. That will be the end of her turn. Des, I think it's you.
Yep. Des looks at Chris and gives them a tight smile and pushes off with her wings to land carefully on the balcony with Hazel. And she looks at Hazel and sighs and leans back against a railing and goes, Hazel, I really, I don't know what to say anymore. We'd leave if we could. You're hurting not just the people we care about, not just us, but you're hurting the entire town. You're not doing good. I get where you're coming from. You are more than welcome to criticize us for not including you better in the team. At no point did we think of you as anything less than a part of the team, but we didn't treat you like part of the team. You don't gotta forgive us for that, but you can't keep hurting people. And anything you do with this, she gestures towards the gray itself, it's not gonna do anything except for hurt people. There's not a single person you've healed. That's going to be her sway roll.
Go ahead and roll.
GM, does a 13 work?
It might just. It might just cause her to hesitate.
Yeah, that is an 11 plus 2 with empathy. That is a 13.
At the words, "There's not a single person you've helped," Hazel stops. You don't know that. You don't know what I've been doing. And you, with a 13, with your empathy, can tell that she's trying to convince herself as much as she's trying to convince you. It is her turn. She doesn't break eye contact with you. But she doesn't attack either. She beats her wings. The light flares through the pounding rain, and she floats upward for a moment and then descends down to the parking lot, down to the middle of the crater where the spring had once been. The lights follow her, and she shouts at you, Des. You don't know what I've been doing. You haven't seen everyone that I've helped. You don't know. And she, with hesitating, rolls a 10. But the hesitating brings it down to a 9. Where does that leave you, Des?
Dead center.
Dead center. It is the bottom of the round, and a few things happen. The lights in the apartment continue to multiply. The clouds in the sky grow and darken into a thunderhead. And we see the library. One Faith, her arms open, offering to make the other whole. Faith looks at the other. She looks to where the volleyball team is trying not to look like they're watching. She says, Can we go outside? Yeah, of course. I have a car. We can. The two of them stand up. They walk outside, and they sit down in the borrowed car. Faith leans into the offered hug. There's a moment where she takes a deep breath and plunges the lent pocket knife into the false Faith's heart.
Woo!
Yeah!
That's a girl! Fuck yeah!
Yeah!
Give me back my family! And that is where we are going to end this episode. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening. Thank you to my players. I look forward to seeing you next time. And have a good night. Thank you again for joining us on this adventure. With Conviction is a production of Silver Maiden Games. If you would like to play Conviction, check out the game at silvermaidengames.itch.io. Music for the intro and outro of this podcast is A Soul with Conviction by Doom Vega, who you can find on Bandcamp. Music within the episodes is by Rachel Rose Mitchell, who you can find on Bandcamp and Spotify. All rights to the music are retained by their original artist. Production and editing are done by myself and the With Conviction cast. Thank you all. This would not be what it is without you. You can find this podcast on Spotify and YouTube or silvermaidengames.wordpress.com. You can also find more about the game, podcast, and ways to contact us at silvermaidengames.wordpress.com.